Every day we bring you the hottest music. The ultimate music mix. What's up, everybody? Some outrageous conversations.
I know a few alleged drug dealers.
This is not a drug conversation.
And I'm not.
This was.
No drug slender will be accepted.
You will not come play snitch here on the show. Disclaimer: I don't know anything about drugs. I don't know any drug dealers. I just want to talk about witchcraft.
Let's get to the real thing.
The Morning Mix on Informanté Radio. The sound for a new age.
As you journey through life towards your retirement goal, build your wealth with Elite Save. Earn 8.5% compound interest on your investment term, while choosing when and how you receive your interest returns. It's tailor-made to help you succeed. For more info, SMS Elite Save to 31844 and we will call you back. Underwritten by Trustco Life.
The views and opinions expressed on the radio program by the guests, advertisers, news bulletins, call-in listeners or chatters are solely the views and opinions of the source who express them. They do not necessarily reflect the opinions and the views of Trustco Group International, the broadcast regulators in Namibia, or that of the Informanté radio station.
This is Informanté Radio, the sound for a new age. An ode to the Namibian fallen heroes is Peter L. Peter featuring Levi. This one is titled Otwamanguluka. That's how we open up the morning mix for this Tuesday morning. Otwamanguluka. Twakutuka.
We are free.
Free.
Are we really free? Otwamanguluka ngoshiri.
Otwamanguluka ke mburumos marapaife. Otulimo naiko.
Turimo?
Your Shibambo is impressive.
Mine?
Yeah. I must say.
When he speaks it,
No, he's
the sheer, just the accent, the way he pronounces the words, everything is like really on point.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm Bovi.
It's bro, you can't avoid the Ovambo tribe in this country. They're everywhere. So, you know, I've had a lot of time. I've spent a lot of time around them. But it's one of those things that I always try to do with languages. I try to especially pay attention to how the words are pronounced. For instance, in my language, right, you can say the same word, but depending on how you pronounce it, it can mean something different. So yeah, I try to be conscious of that, especially with my Oshiwambo.
Omariva, Imaliwa, Tamara, Marie. Very close.
So how's the Tuesday morning?
Is het ook dinsdag vandaag?
Het is dinsdag vandaag. Ons was gister by die werk.
Joe.
Oh, as het eerst so klink net, dan wil ek nie hoor.
No. I told you guys now. My day just started off on a very good note.
Oh yes, you got some excellent news this morning.
Yes. I lost my car keys 2 months ago.
Who loses a Bentley's key? How?
Rich people problem.
And I couldn't find this key for over 2 months. And coming to the car wash this morning, the key was... The key is hanging there at the car wash. These guys were looking for me for the last 2 months.
You know what's funny?
Yeah.
Neville is actually telling us in a style, say, car was to me for 2 months. It's been tough.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
You're telling on yourself.
Yeah, I saw car wash toe gegaan, but I couldn't drive the car.
Oh, okay, I get.
I couldn't drive the car for the last 2 months.
What about the BM?
No, the Chrysler.
No, I'm saying, but what the BM nie gewas nie.
Oh, no. I've been washing it at other places.
Oh.
Like because there's a car wash.
All of the car washes have their own select type of gossip, you see. So he has to target. Die hele praat net oor groot winkel en katotoras stories. The one of the BM, they probably talk about rich people gossip and who's cheating on who and wie se vrou was gevang met wie.
So this time around, I decided to go to this one.
The one of
this
who's sleeping with who?
Yeah. So I still need to figure out, what the modus operandi is of this one. So,
but it's good. At least you got your key back.
So my day started off. No, I don't care how you guys insult me today.
Now listen.
I'm having a good day already.
Through the grapevine, we understood that you had put aside like around 20,000 to get a new key. Now, since you have the old key back, aren't we going to break that bread?
I had no idea where I'm going to get that money anyway to pay for those new keys.
Dis geld my geld, né?
Maar jy het ook al dit geld vir jou. Ai, dan gaan die manne sê sak.
Yo, level jy's 'n ryk man.
Ek het gepay vandag.
Yo, jy is ryk.
Vat tog jou R100 asseblief.
Dit is.
Woo!
Got $100.
Yes, like it. Wie ek is opgesigel nee.
Line dilemma.
On the show, I got $100 from Neville Bazon. He still owes me another $100.
Hou op. Ons is square.
HR policy says you may not accept gifts here. Give that money.
We will share. You can take the 50. It's okay, my brother.
That's my girl, man.
Okay, now you guys can buy me breakfast.
Take this money and buy me breakfast. Near.
I actually heard there are couples that do that, right? I know a couple, I think the girl is well off and the guy isn't. So she gives him her card so that he can pay so that she can put it on Instagram and boast about her man buying her things. It's sad.
That is the world we live in, guys.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
But somebody said it's the only way to do it. You can't how is the word? Emasculate. You can't emasculate your partner. So you have to make him seem like.
Yeah.
I hate patriarchy, but anyway.
Me, say moet batal, my broer. I say die zaken, say moet batal. I'll be there showing off even.
I like it when she buys me stuff.
Even me.
Alles uit jou geld is alright.
Nee, I'm not even thinking about it.
Yeah.
You understand?
Onze geld.
Yeah, even if she does a thing or two, and if she brings her dough home, if she buys me stuff, that's lekker.
Yeah?
Oh,
Like
I
being
love
spoiled.
it. And you can clearly see that, with the passion that she comes to me. My man, weet jy wat ek vir jou gekoop vandag? Oh, wat het jy gekoop? I'm like a little kid. Yes. I love
excited. It. Yeah. Now I still have those waar ek my mond verby praat. Van she comes in there with all that excitement, and then you look at it and you're like, but it's ugly.
Oh no.
Weet jy Jane?
No, I hope you don't say that.
Te skof.
Me, I like what I like. I'm not gonna lie to my wife. If I don't like it, I'll tell her. Hey, I appreciate the gesture, but your taste is off.
Actually, I also prefer to know, but just
your
do it
your taste was off, but I appreciate it. I'm gonna wear it or whatever it is.
So as jy 'n gotcha was, ne? You would have been that gotcha in that video when I buy you a black G-Wagon.
Oh, she starts crying.
You cry and say it's the wrong color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what am I gonna do with the black car?
It's the wrong color.
It's the wrong color.
It's like, but it's a G-Wagon. What's a G-Wagon?
No. She wants a G-Wagon. She knows what a G-Wagon is.
Yeah.
But she just wants another color.
She wanted it maybe in pink.
Yes.
And he brought it in black.
Or yellow or
so
something.
now she's in tears because I wanted it in pink.
Slechte maniere.
You know, like you buy her the black car and you buy a pink toy G-Wagon that she can hang inside the car. So, problem solved.
After I saw that video, I was like, if I was this guy, I'll just take back my car keys and
Yes.
like, no, please on a car.
Nee, ek sal. I'll take back my
If you're
stuff.
gonna be that spoiled and not thankful.
Yes, like
I buy you a car and you're complaining about the color.
toch gewoon niet. Krijg je niet
Nee,
scam.
jy heel
Ek sê, I like what I like away.
Somebody's buying you a car. Do you know how expensive a G-Wagon is? And you're crying about the color.
It's like, come on, you spend like a
That is spoiled.
couple of million buying me a G-Wagon. You could have just thrown in a couple of extra 100,000 to make the color I want most. What difference would it have made? Oh, she's ook net synig, Jay.
I was yesterday. I quickly went to that Kommersdal SME market, that food market
Oh,
in
yes,
Kommersdal.
yes. Where we had brim.
Yes.
Yes, Zambezi.
And I was just, I so much miss the bream. Because I haven't had that Zambezi fish in a long time. So I just went there and
bream.
get myself a piece of. And every time I go there, I think of you.
We were trying to.
Except
You
never.
are uncultured.
I like what I like, guys. Just that it just is what it is. Jy ken ook never as jy like te gesê jy soek die CR7 tox. En jy gaan koop vir hom 'n Lionel Messi, jy sal probleme hê. Still a nice shoe, but it's not the one I want. Yes. Anyway, let's do a quick COVID-19 update before we dive into this morning's conversation.
Yes.
And of course, before we check what is happening in the community section, I'm sure there are already a couple of comments there. Our caseload currently stands at 6,030 cases. So we have climbed over 6,000 officially. Our death toll is at 56. Yesterday we had like 8 critical patients. That figure is not appearing here today, so I cannot give it to you. But in any way, we have 2,563 recoveries. So we have just a little over 3,000 active cases at the moment. The caseload in Windhoek is still going up.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, I am so desensitized with our numbers.
Yeah.
Ek is in free fall at the moment.
Like for instance, when I was on air with Kofi yesterday, we were discussing the issue of, I mean, if you go to the Robert Mugabe clinic, right, where they are doing the government testing, basically, you get your results in about 7 days. Yeah, a bit more than 7 days for some people even. So technically, the figure that we're sitting with as far as recoveries and infections is about 7 days ago. But the figure that we're sitting with now is like the situation on the ground about 7 days ago.
But then again, we have people who asked the question. It was on our WhatsApp group last night, at least name WhatsApp groups. People asking, okay, now if you get your results in 7 days, but if you die today from heart disease or whatever, you get tested immediately and you get your results immediately. How does that correlate at the moment with waiting for 7 days compared to somebody who passes away today on an operating table for a dental procedure, and that person happens to be COVID-19 positive? How do they quickly
firstly
release those results?
No, because of course they're working on a priority list. You can't. Not everybody's a priority. Clearly, we are not as equipped to deal with every case as a priority. So, of course, in the instances of death, knowing that the burial has to take place in 48 hours, they need to determine whether there was a COVID-related death there. And so they can't wait 7 days. You need to be buried within.
Yeah, if it's COVID-related.
So all the death testing, those are priorities. All the people that came into contact with infected people, like primary, those are also priority. And then if you just if you go to the Robert Mugabe clinic now, because you just suspect you might be.
Yeah, like a lot of people
you don't really know,
are going there on referrals as well.
Yeah.
It's actually a pretty chaotic situation once even the way we are handling a positive case, right? For instance, you get that call that, for instance, you tested with Robert Mugabe, you get your call from the doctors like, okay, your results are back in, you are positive, we advise you to please isolate yourself, we'll send an ambulance to come pick you up. In the instance that you don't have a place to quarantine yourself, I'm assuming. But then that ambulance is going to come to your house like in the next 3 or 4 days only, which is understandable because, I mean, with the amount of cases that are springing up in Windhoek and the amount of ambulances that we actually have available, it will be nearly impossible to get to all this 100 people that are testing positive every day. So there's going to be an obvious backlog, which also creates that situation of people who even have their positive results but are forced to go out because I'm staying alone. I can't get anything. I can't, basically, I need to still do stuff for myself. So, I honestly, like Sus Neville say, I'm also becoming a bit desensitized when it just looks like it's not a chaotic situation. This COVID-19 situation.
I see Mutatu is giving his number. I thought you were going to give it yesterday.
Oh, yes, you were supposed to give us the number.
He just put it here on, I don't know, for everybody to see. I hope he doesn't mind. But
I hope nobody calls him.
I don't know what you want to do with that, because I thought
we could probably chat to him a bit later.
A bit later.
Depending on how it goes. But I mean, you guys, of course, know, and by you guys I mean you, our valued listeners. or our valued viewers, you know, tomorrow is Heroes Day. It's the one day that Namibia, of course, has set aside to sort of honor the memory of our liberation heroes, or our fallen heroes. But
before we go into that, maybe just read all the comments.
Oh.
Because of this, I don't want us to, like, for example, I see George Kambala is asking, so we're prioritizing death cases, so we're not prioritizing the need to save lives. I didn't say that. Of course, lives need to be prioritized. I'm saying that if somebody dies, they need to establish if it's COVID related so that you can be buried in 48 hours. So that becomes a priority. Whether or not we're doing enough, it's up for debate. Some feel we're not doing enough. I feel we could do more. But saying that we are prioritizing death does not mean we are not prioritizing the living. It doesn't have to be either or.
Yeah.
We can do both at the same time.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right, there's a lot of good morning messages. Let me try and run through the messages so we find the ones that we need to address before we move on. As you saw, I see my name here. Q, just say you were taught at the pillow.
That's it.
But like guys, this is the last time I'm going to tell you. My wife is a buchter. I speak more Vambo than
you
my
speak
wife.
better than your wife. Right?
A lot better, not even by a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Cubase actually speaks okay. Yeah.
By miles. Asino Kambikiti, Cubase Lado Shuambo must be from the pil. Yes, that Alvar.
I agree. I agree, guys. I agree.
You know what?
They were past pillows.
Then it's fine. Then we must also put pillows in classrooms so these kids can learn better. If that's the only way you people can learn. Oh, if you can't, come join them. Finally, Neville is now free from debts.
Even paid us. Yo, Neville. I'm so proud of you, my brother. Stop touching your face.
Shaks is saying it's true, Uncle Neville. Us married men like it so much, that feeling of being bought stuff. Who's us married men?
The man is a getrouwde man.
Was this guy not here in Maria's DMs here? Now he's come at us.
That's it from.
It's the
Even, they're even asking, oh, so you finally got over our rich aunt. Yes, George Kambala, good morning, everyone. Maria, where are you meeting for the cup of coffee? Where are we meeting?
Hey, Khanji, we don't want to have coffee with you. Yeah.
Say, George, actually, I need to make a coffee date with George. Ons moet praat.
I spoke to him on Friday.
Yeah.
Just had a
How is he?
telephonic conversation.
How
with
are
him.
you, George? Is you all right? Yeah, you can comment. Then the others can come for you.
Yeah.
Martin is telling George, hey, be careful or else you will be blocked like D. Maria Spelio. It's like, what? Block?
Jy het die geblok ook.
Ek het vir George geblok.
Maar he's nog gaan block. He's back in.
No, on Twitter, not.
Yeah, and I know what you mean. Des van Wyk, morning, my people. Metcalf talking government and especially Ministry of Health or taking to court on lockdown imposed on Erongo region, Walvis, Swakop en Arandes.
My sister, kom ons kyk wat gebeur Vrydag.
What the president shall say.
Ja.
George?
Kom ons kyk wat gebeur Vrydag.
Yeah. Okay, I saw this comment, Mary. It's the one that you started reading.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, let's stir the pot a little bit.
That's it.
Let's go.
As a belief.
Please.
All right, we 30 years after independence, with a lot of the younger generation, of course, valuing not so much the same things that we did, not so much the same things that the generations before us did. This has, over time, sort of shifted who certain factors, I guess, within the Namibian community consider heroes. So, seeing that tomorrow is Heroes Day, we thought we would take this on and just chew on it a little bit. What constitutes a hero in our beautiful Namibia in this 2020?
What does constitute?
Yeah, what constitute? Does it mean? Is it somebody who was in the liberation struggle? Is it somebody who's been working to put Namibia on the map? Is it, different strokes for different folks.
Yeah.
So, kom ons praat bietjie daaroor.
Before we can I just give the textbook definition of a hero, and then we can chew on that.
Yes.
Okay, it says hero is a noun, a person who is admired for their courage, outstanding achievements, or noble qualities.
Yes.
All right. So their courage, outstanding achievements, or noble qualities. That's a hero. Yo, dan is like a hero, yo. No, I'm just kidding.
And by the way, I don't know when Oxford plans to correct the spelling. The word is actually herero, and they just spelled it wrong in the dictionary. I've been telling them now for years, man.
Who's a herero? Are you a herero? Yeah, I think, guys, like you rightfully say, it's we want to unpack it today to hear from you guys, and obviously we're gonna have our own little debate here in the studio as to who we individually consider as heroes, okay? And please feel free to throw in your own heroes in there if you feel like it. We would love to hear what you guys think as to who your heroes are. And as we were debating this issue yesterday as to who we consider as heroes and who not, these are our individual opinions.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be political heroes or any particular segment of society.
Your hero
Like
can be
Maria
your
was
big
saying.
brother. Like it's different for every person. Every person,
different for
every
every
person has
person.
different
And
influences
sometimes
in
we
their
have
lives.
the same heroes.
Yes,
And
of course.
sometimes we have the same heroes.
Yeah.
So, very interesting. I'm so excited about this. I would.
Kom ek hoor by jou, Neville. Jy was mos ook in die liberation struggle. Who are actually your heroes?
Yeah, who are your heroes?
It's actually funny, guys, that if you would have asked me for a list of heroes 10, 15 years ago, my list would have looked
Politics.
starkly
It would have been
different.
Comrade. Everywhere.
Honorable.
Yes.
Yeah, because we had such a misconception as to what a hero constitute.
I don't think it's a misconception. It's just really all we knew.
Yeah,
Because we're not wrong that they are heroes.
Yeah.
It's just
Hey.
it was all the focus was on the heroes. Like you pick up your history books. It's generally politics. The
It's just
history
politics.
is
Yes.
how did Namibia gain independence? And obviously, the current gods, they used to love chanting that song to us, reminding us all the time that we
Are your
we
heroes.
liberated you.
Yes.
Yeah.
We brought you independence. Remember us. Honor us.
Yeah.
You know, give us our street names and our dues. So it was always in our face. And I mean, they still try to. I think it's just that the youth now, their rhetoric is different. It's like now we're like neons. Like, I don't have to respect you by virtue of your liberation credentials.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're not wrong that they're heroes. Is just that's really all we were fed. I think.
So how many names do you have?
I decided because it's me. My list only entails women.
Okay.
How?
Okay.
So we can. It's not that
Yes.
I don't have male heroes. I just thought I will bring in that element of the female names. And
Okay.
stuff, yeah.
So how many names do you have?
I think I've got 10.
Okay. Cubase, how many do you have?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6.
Yes.
You got 6 heroes.
Yes.
Okay, so we do 2 each.
No. I think
and
just
we
start with
rotate.
your list. And we don't have to
Okay.
have like
Okay.
an order.
No, ladies first.
Yeah, begin. Okay, I can start.
Yeah, please start.
High up.
We need you to motivate why that particular
Some
person
people, you know, some
is a
people,
hero.
some people you just mentioned their names,
Uh,
and people should know.
Okay.
Who weet julle nie? Die
no,
die
but
mense nie.
what it means to you.
Okay.
Okay, but let's hear.
All right. The first one I wanted to bring forward is Rosa Nemesis.
Rosa Nemesis.
Yes. She's. I mean, apart from she is in politics, but really it's her activism that has impressed me.
Yes.
I'll just read.
You know Rosa?
Yes, I'll just read.
I think Rosa Nemesis for me, and we can obviously debate this. Rosa Nemesis, I think in the history of our country, like you do say, She has done a lot, not just for women's rights, but for human rights.
And for children,
And
human rights.
For human rights. So obviously, in certain circles, very polarizing figure.
Yes.
She's not liked by everyone.
And that's when you know she's brilliant.
Exactly. So if you hear Rosa Nami says, "Aye, she's stirring the pot again. Can't she just sit down and be quiet?
Yeah.
So if you don't know Rosa Nami says, go read about her a little bit.
You can Google it. I'll give a little. I have an affinity to strong women. I think you guys know that.
Yeah.
If I see a trailblazer, a woman that's unapologetically herself doing what she needs to do and she's doing the work, I adore women like that. And Rosa is just the pinnacle of just how, like the people I admire. She's just a pinnacle. She's a strong, courageous, confident, human rights activist. And like, how can you not know? But just a little bit. So she's a prominent voice on gender issues, human rights violations, violence against women and children in Namibia. And she's also the director of Women Solidarity Namibia. I mean, and she does a lot of work at the Dolam Residential Children Care Center.
Yes.
She works from which is a daycare center for vulnerable children.
Yeah.
So just a
I
force, for me, a heroine for sure.
Yeah.
Excellent.
This nog.
Yes.
Geen nog ene, then we go.
Okay, let me look at. I wanted to put an athlete there, Johanna
Benson.
Ilalia. Johannes, sorry,
Okay.
Ilalia Johannes. I think, on the athletic front, she is doing her thing.
Yeah.
I think she's also put Namibia on the map. I think she's a real contender for perhaps a gold medal
Yeah.
from the Olympics. You know. But again, I think women that are making their mark, that are unapologetic, that are focused on their vision. I was lucky enough to meet her a few times, and she's also just like inside and out a beautiful person. And I think definitely somebody to look up to.
Definitely.
I've never met a woman.
I said Joanna Benson. I confused her. I wanted to say Hilalia John. Yeah.
I've never met a woman who's so successful in her craft, in her talent, but remains so humble.
I know.
She's so humble. And she comes here and she said, "No, all I eat is just the mahango. It's all I want to eat." I love Hilalia.
Yeah.
I think she's one of our most underrated
Yes.
heroes in our country in terms of sport.
Yes.
There are not enough being done to support her.
Yeah.
She's done so much, so I do agree with
And
her.
the humbleness. I was last year when I flew to China.
Yes.
We were on the same flight.
Oh,
and,
yes.
Yeah, and when we arrived in Beijing and we were filling out the foreign, so I came and I don't want to say I was starstruck, but I admire her.
Yeah.
So we were filling it. So I started talking to her. She's like, "Oh, you know who I am?" I'm like, "Girl,
It's a
who doesn't know who you are?"
You
But-
are Hilalia.
Yeah, we had
We
a
know
great.
who you are.
Yeah, I had just a brief. She was there with her team. She was doing something in Beijing. Yeah, great lady, great woman.
Okay.
All right. Neville, who do you get?
Okay, my first two I would go for Hosea Kutako.
No, that one is mine. Take another one.
No, you guys can outro at the
Yeah,
same
we
time.
can
Yeah.
obviously complement
Yes,
each other
of
on
course,
that.
yes.
The reason why I chose Hosea Kutako was not because I don't see Hosea Kutako as a political figure.
Yeah.
A lot of people still don't know the history of Hosea Kutako. They only see Hosea Kutako Avenue or road
Or airport or
or the airport, and that is the only way that they associate Hosea Kutako with. This is the man who took Sam Nujoma, our founding father, under his wing. And literally, and that was basically a traditional way of sending a child to go and do a man's work. Because Tate Kutako was physically standing like this and let Sam Nujoma crawl through his legs as Sam Nujoma was exiting Namibia through Botswana.
Yeah, Neville, you tell a story like you were there. I love it.
Yes.
He tells it like you, the long version.
Yeah. So, Hosea Kotako initiated what we are supposed to be enjoying in our country today.
The independence.
Yeah. And if I talk about independence, I don't just talk about political independence, I talk about financial independence.
There were a lot of moving pieces, even in our liberation struggle.
Yeah.
And like the sad part was, look, it doesn't matter, like it is with every war, the winner gets to tell their story and gets to tell their narrative.
Yes.
And you know, some of these things were perceived to somehow diminish the I don't know, the importance or the achievements of the eventual winner. So some of these things were not really part of history. But these were people who were there at the very beginning of our struggle as a nation for independence. So that's why I also consider him one of my heroes.
No, for sure a hero.
A father figure.
Yeah. Give him all his credit.
My next one, I remember during our independence.
Say the name first, laat ons weet.
Jackson Kayewa.
Oh yes, for sure.
Jackson Kayewa, definitely a hero for me.
Yeah.
I remember at our independence celebrations in 1990, it was the first time that as a young 18-year-old Namibian, I'm seeing a black person singing our own songs on a global platform.
Yeah.
Kubut Kubus, this guy paved the way for the Gazas, the dogs.
Made music.
He made music and his beat was Namibian.
Yes. Yeah.
So his legacy will continue for generations to come. So for me, Jackson definitely is a hero.
Yeah, and to add to that, I really like people that make their mark in the creative industry. I mean, you know, I love music, and Jackson is just, I think for me, like the first great, it was my introduction to music in Namibia for sure.
Local music,
So before I knew those Britney Spears goed wat later gekom het, we knew Jackson.
Yeah.
And we all enjoyed his music and we all listened to it. I've never met anybody that doesn't like Jackson Kayowa music.
Of course.
So it was, I think it was that one. And he sang in all the languages that it was just a unifier for all of us. May he rest in peace.
I can definitely understand, especially the role he has played in what is now today our music industry in this country. So I understand. But I also understand that there are some people who may have come after Jackson's time and whose heroes may be like, I don't know, Killer B and other men later gekomen. But Jackson is really an icon. I'm sure there were also a couple of guys who were performing before him.
Please do an impersonation, Gogo man. Yeah, do the laugh, please. Just do the laugh. Just a laugh. Just a laugh.
Never begin net 'n bietjie begin lag.
Just a laugh.
All I can just say, and this is unfortunately the sad part of things. I remember seeing Jackson in town, I think in the last couple of months before
2 months before he died.
Yeah, before he passed. No, okay. A few months before Jackson passed on. And he obviously wasn't in a very good condition.
Yes.
And it just seems to me like, you know what, this guy was one of our heroes. And obviously this is just rumor mongering that, you know what, Jackson passed on with not a lot of wealth that he could create.
Did they give him a street at least?
I don't know if Jackson has a street name. I
Jackson,
don't know.
I can't remember driving say Jackson Kayowa Street.
I don't know.
Why haven't they given?
He is somebody.
He should
like
get a
said.
prominent street.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I also think so.
Okay, gee my Jonah, laat ons hoor.
Weet ek hierso, kom ons begin hierso. Actually, like one of my fondest childhood memories is watching Frank Fredericks at the Olympics. So I don't think any list of mine, any list of Namibian heroes of mine would be complete without Frankie's name on. I also remember when I was in high school, when I traveled out of the country. So we are a group of blacks, basically, from Africa, talking to a bunch of, white kids at the school that we had the exchange with. And they literally knew nothing. They knew nothing about Africa.
Namibia, nothing.
About Namibia. They knew two names from Africa. Nelson Mandela and Frankie Fredericks. And that filled me with so much pride.
Yeah, because it's one of your own as well.
It's one of our own. It's one of our, even if you may not be able to identify Namibia immediately, at least you know who Frankie Fredericks is. You've seen that Namibian flag on his shirt. You've seen him clinching Olympic medals for my country. So he's always going to be one of my heroes. I think he did put Namibia on the international map with his exploits at not just the Olympics, I guess, during his career.
Yeah, I remember when he was running, I think everybody was glued to their TV sets.
Yes, we wanted to see
We
Frankie
all
run.
stayed at home. As jy nie 'n TV het, jy het by die neighbors gegaan. But everybody tuned in on NBC at the time it was a replay, but to watch him run. And it was, I think, such a big moment for Namibia.
En daar is hy nog, Hero Darby.
Verstaan jy?
So
Daar
is hy
sit nog
goed
hero nog
tribalism.
Baie om wat jy baie.
It's one of our own.
Omuzantu.
But yeah, he is definitely a national hero for me.
Frankie, definitely also on my list. I remember in 1989 or 1990, I'm not too sure. The top runner in our country was a white guy called Wessel Oosthuizen. Okay? Hy boer het sulke groot brille gehad. And Frankie was this little junior.
Yeah.
Now, being in Karatura, seeing this white guy taking all titles, national titles. I remember this specific afternoon. I think it's probably a little earlier, maybe 88, 87. And Frankie ran against this guy, against Wessel Oosthuizen. The jubilation in Katutura when Frankie beat this guy.
Yeah.
And how his career basically propelled.
From there.
In 1990, I remember it was in the World Championships where Carl Lewis broke the world record. I think Frankie came like third or fourth. I can't remember. But we could already see that year, die mannetjie gaan ver kom. 1992, when Frankie brought home the 2 silver medals, my broer, die Karatura se strate, everybody wanted to just feel, touch Frankie. And those were the golden years. And 1996, when he did that again, hero.
Yeah.
Hero.
No, for sure.
And especially at a time when, we had just gained our independence, we were still nation building, like in the initial stages, infancy stages of nation building. So for somebody to be able to unify the entire country like that,
I was always
quite big.
There was this one year at the sports awards. It's live on TV. I'm hosting the sports awards. It's watched all over the country. Frankie sits in the audience. The president sits there. So I do this routine of Frankie running. And I'll say, it's always the coolest to see Frankie run was the slow motion.
Never change
it.
Dis 'n probleem.
En kyk, as was daai jare, Frankie goed het hierdie jellybroeke gedra. Those tight pants.
Yeah.
And all the athletes 100 meters back then. En die goede maak so, jong.
It's hierdie man.
So Frankie and the president sits in the front row watching this routine. Hey, hulle lag there. Frankie sits there like, But yeah, that was the fun part of it. So Frankie, hero.
Yeah,
for
he
sure.
definitely is one of my heroes.
Maar so you go around bragging, it's my bra.
Ja, is my bra. It's my bra.
Cool.
All right.
Who else is
Should
on
I,
yours?
should I add another?
Hier nog ene.
I'm going to take you back to the beginning of the previous century for my the second person on my list, and that would be the young king Mandumi and Mfayo.
Yes, was ons days.
Died at the age
No.
of 23.
23.
At 23, to be revered so much by
And he
your
was.
people 100 years
Say
later.
that slowly.
Yes, it's
King Mandume Demufayo.
yes, it just shows what a great leader he was, and yeah, like I said, like you can see by Meria, the Kwanyamas speaking about their king. He was,
Kekuma.
yes, he was the last king of the Kwanyamas. That's what they say on certain.
Well, he is the last king because after him, a queen came in.
Yes.
Yeah.
But let me add something that a lot of people don't know.
Yes, please.
He was, when I say progressive king, I'm talking about for women rights.
Yeah.
He's the first king that allowed women to own cattle. First king that punished abusive men. So if you beat your wife and whatever, you had to pay with cattle. There was a punishment. And he also, women were allowed to go into the council. Like, the council for the king. So because prior to that, and we still have a lot of that, obviously, misogyny in the Kwanyama tribes. But King Mandume was really a progressive king in terms of even just the empowerment of women. And for me, that's the affinity, not just that he was a king, but the fact that he did all of that at a time when it was easy to kind of overlook women and keep them kepata in the kitchen. Kepata. Yeah, so he was a very, and if you read some of his decrees, some of the rules he made for his kingdom, like you couldn't pick fruits from the tree, you had to let them fall. Because he also, I'm telling you, this guy was so progressive. So you would get punished. So you say you let the fruits ripen on the tree, you cannot pick them, they have to fall, and then you eat them.
When they're ripe, they will fall.
When they're ripe, they will fall. So there were those type of rules that he put in place. But
I like that metaphor. You
Yeah.
can use that as a metaphor in many
course,
things.
Of course,
of
it is a
course.
metaphor, yeah. Yeah. So, yes, a definite hero.
Okay.
King Mandume, again, I think the fear that he instilled in the enemy at the time was of such a nature that, and the enemy knew how he was revered by his people.
Yeah.
And they made sure when they captured him that they decapitated or basically dismembered his body.
We still want his head.
Completely. And that was a symbol to make sure that, if you dismantle a body like that, if your people see you, it would instill so much fear in you that you will stop whatever it is that you are trying to do. But that inspired and galvanized people so much
It
that they
became
kept
a
on
martyr.
fighting for the independence of.
But it's also a trophy, because you need to remember that at this point they had been looking for him. He was a troublemaker. He was
Of course. No, the Kwanyama.
he was a thorn in their foot.
The Kwanyama kingdom was very well organized.
Yes.
Like militarily,
Yes.
they were very well organized, and that's testament to
And he was young.
good
he was
leadership.
23.
He died at the age of 23.
So
Died
they
at
never
the age
found
of
his
23.
head.
No, we're still looking for it.
Okay.
Okay, so I will go next on the list. Obviously, this list is not complete without Mafaro Meme Ana Muguna Kakurukade.
Kurukave.
I mean, when you think of heroines
She
in this
was on my
country,
list as
she's the first one, right? She's literally at the top of the list. I'm sure we don't even have to get in the history of it. A powerhouse. You cannot talk about Namibian history without mentioning her. And I think we all agree she's a hero.
No, she's also on my list.
Yeah,
Her actions on that fateful day is has her forever carved into Namibian history as one of the heroines
yes.
in
Okay.
this country.
So she is believed to have. She took a petrol bomb. Oh, this was my first introduction as to Kakurukave. She saw an apartheid police van And in the midst of this protest of us black people being moved from places like Pionierspark and Hoogland Park, moved, that was ons ou locasie, moved to Katutura. She took a petrol bomb and threw it at this police van, which sparked the 1959 uprising. So she's been remembered for that, and she got killed there at that particular spot.
During the act.
During the act. Obviously, there are some of the naysayers, and this has been discussed on Radio Shihero. It's been discussed in Katutura. As die mense sit en nonsens praat, en sê, "Ai, ons was saam met Kakurkade gewees die dag. Kakurkade was dronk gewees. Dis al, sy was dronk. Toe gooi sy die wat, that has got nothing to do with what...
The bravery still.
Yes. Of die Zali no Gachwala was, of die Gachwala was it. That's got nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't diminish the history.
Yes.
Yeah, don't diminish the history.
Yeah, we're diminishing the history by bringing that element
that
in.
element,
Die
yeah.
Zali was Gachwala gewees. Whether that's true or not, she's a hero to us.
Some heroes, you need a dop or two, you know. It's nie maklik.
Like the one who's saying that was ook Gachwala geweest.
Jy moet 'n bietjie dop drink.
Ek ken
You're
sy
gonna
wat-
fight.
Yes, of course. Like, and the kind of things that generation had to go through, or people were going through during that time, I'm sure you would need a little bit of numbing every now and then just to get through the day. Right.
All right, my list. Next, I can't do this list justice without mentioning Dr. Libertine Amadira.
Aha.
I'm going to mention two doctors. So it's her and Dr. Helena Ndume. I love those women. I adore those two doctors. They are, I mean, if I ever write a biography, I'm going to dedicate a chunk of it to them because they really did so much to me as a woman in this country, and looking up to them. And I mean, great stuff. I mean, the fact that Dr. Helena Ndume doesn't even want the street, for example. She doesn't want those accolades. I think, like, for example, name the Yuna Medical facility after her. You know, she's done. I mean, she's an international name now. She's well known in not just, I think, medical industry. Everywhere that woman goes, she's known. So definitely has put our country on the map, is doing great work, and it's really from a place of passion, or trailblazer.
I just quickly need to say, for some of you who don't know Dr. Helena Ndume, she's the first known female black optometrist or doctor in Namibia who made sure that onze opas, onze omas, our tates, our memes, who developed the cataract over their eyes and they can't see. Dr. Ndume would sit there, she would speak in Damaranama, she would speak in Afrikaans, she would speak in Herero or Shiwambo with patients at Karatura Hospital. Mama, can't you no sin? Can't you no sin? She has so much.
She does it for free.
For free.
She does it for free.
She has done this for so many years, and Dr. Helena Ndume is the reason that most of our parents can still see today.
Yeah.
So remember that name if you don't know it today.
I was with her at the pro-abortion. She's pro-abortion. Thank you. She's
Okay. I don't like her anymore.
She's pro-abortion, and we were together. She marched alongside us from Katutura to the city when we were protesting. And she gave a speech, but she was just talking about her experience in clinics and how women die because of this backdoor abortion.
Yes,
like, she's seen them dying on the death, and that's why she wants these policies. So again, you know, you draw your strength from women like that really are speaking out. And it's not a popular opinion, especially in a traditionalist country where people are, for example, anti-abortion. So for somebody to be renowned and still put their reputation on the line and say, I sincerely believe this is what women need because we need to start saving women. I mean, it's a powerful... And that also goes back into why I like Dr. Libertina Madila. I mean, she was the first politician that even brought, like, for example, the abortion thing to the parliament. It was turned down. Yes, nobody wanted to discuss it. But that was in the early 90s when these things were still taboo. And she was like, I think just like, can we please discuss this? As a doctor, the things we see in the clinics, the women that we are losing to unsafe abortions needs to be discussed. And nobody was paying attention. But apart from all of that is also the work she does. She's doing a lot of work currently in the Kunene region, by the way. And I love people that, and she's over, she's close to 80. Is she over 80? She's over 70 for sure. But to still be that passionate and still, selfless and giving back to the community and doing the work and empowering and enriching communities, especially impoverished community and minority groups. Oh, how can you not love women like that? How can you not?
She was like basically the first politician I idolized.
Yes.
In this country was Dr. Libertina Madila. I was still in primary school, and I remember she put her hand on my head, and I just never looked back afterwards.
Okay, thank you.
Just corrected.
Just read there. It's a what? Dr. Ndume is a what? Dr. Ndume is a ophthalmologist, not an optometrist. Okay. Yeah. Apologies for that.
Okay.
Just wanted it to be corrected, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Okay. Two for Neville.
You were saying, sorry, about Dr. Lee. She was the first female...
she was the first politician, period, that sort of I idolized. And then, of course, I grew a strong affinity towards our current president when he was then, I think, Prime Minister under the founding father. But I remember, like, as a kid, they had this visit in Okanja. I can't even remember what it was for. And the Islam kindertjies by die skool is altyd voor in die ry.
Yeah.
So she was, and she was actually, engaging with the kids, and and I think my love language is probably touch, because for me it means more. Like, talking to me is nothing, but actually touching me or me actually touching you means a lot more than whatever it is that comes out of my mouth. So that just stuck with me for the longest time. And she was just so graceful throughout her time in Parliament.
She's a wonderful woman. Even if you have a conversation with her,
I would love to meet her again now.
She's wonderful. I have nothing bad to say. She's such a wonderful soul.
Okay, Neville. Start with Moses Garweb.
Wat van Moses Karweb?
Yeah, I just wanted to throw a spanner in your stuff.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, now let's go. Who else do you have on your list?
I think the next on my list is the Namibian youth. Okay. And I say that as a collective.
Yeah.
George, are you listening?
Yeah, except George. No, I want to pay homage to the Namibian youth today.
That's us.
That's all of us. I think. And when I say the youth, I talk about even when I was a youth.
Oh, okay.
I would talk about Sam Dioma in his youth, okay, who rebelled against what the old guard used to do before his time.
Yes.
Okay? Because when Sam Dioma was a youth, he was considered as arrogant. He does not respect his elders because he's not conforming to what certain elders want him to do. And he had this vision for this country. Sam Dioma was a youth. We were the youth in 88, 89. We were considered by some people in certain circles as disrespectful to authorities, etc. But irrespective of that, we marched on and we protested, we complained, we did everything for us to be where we are today. Then we have our youth today who are considered as regressive. They don't understand how the systems work, etc., etc. So I'm paying homage to the youth today. They are our heroes. They are our future. My sons, my daughter are the youth of this country. Yes. I pay homage to them. It's my responsibility to make sure that they become productive citizens of this country. And I must respect their opinions. So, yes.
They are the ones who drive the change that we wish to see in this country. So, I concur Like I give the Namibian youth my vote as well.
Yeah. I you know me. I support youth in terms of whether it's politics, whether it's in corporate structures, whether it's anywhere. I feel like they need to be empowered. I think they're raising hell, which is perfect. Keep raising hell. We need that this country almost to be flipped on its toes, and I don't mean it in a negative way. Like I'm just saying, change has to come, and you can only really do that by pushing more for the youth in positions of power, and hopefully that they remain true to pushing that agenda, because we, and I include myself, I mean, I don't really consider myself youthful, but I'm still relatively young. It's not all right.
Jy kan nog WhatsApp gestuur word.
Verstaan jy?
Yeah.
But we are the future of tomorrow. And we are did I just say future of tomorrow? I don't know what I was saying.
Come on.
We are the people of tomorrow.
Moving on swiftly.
We are the future of tomorrow. Mukurwaje.
But you didn't pick it up, don't
No,
you?
I didn't. Now
It
that you
just
say it
sounded
again.
nice.
Yeah.
The future.
Of tomorrow.
But is that not correct English?
I think so, ne?
The future
We are the future of tomorrow.
of tomorrow. Mukurwaje.
All right, anyway.
Can the
It-
people
it's-
who know English grammar please come through?
It sounds a bit off.
Look, the point is you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, yes, we need to start making those changes. And, yes, I like, I mean, not even to be controversial or anything, like, that's why I appreciate even, like the AR movement, for example.
Yes.
And the work they do, and even if I don't always agree or they don't agree with me, but it's a necessary body.
Yes.
That is pushing.
They're doing work that needs to be done.
They're doing work that needs to be done, and hopefully we see more of that.
Yes. Change is uncomfortable for many. You're not going to be. Not everybody is going to be like, oh, you want change? Come, welcome.
Yeah, it's
welcome,
not supposed to
welcome."
be cushioned.
No, no,
So
no,
the
no.
road to Narnia is
Yep.
paved in lots of
None shall be given.
yeah. So yeah, kudos to the youth. I agree, heroes.
Who
But
else-
me
who else-
Alma Vangelani. Some
who
of
else?
you still need work to
Yes,
do.
I was just about to say, but this youth are also a problem. If you ask Tatende Itunga, he will tell you. Right? Who else do you have on your list?
Woo! Next on my list, the Brave Warriors team of 1997. Okay. And yes, some of you might laugh.
Beat Bafana What do you mean?
Actually, I did watch. It was not 2-1.
It was 3-2.
Yeah, it was 3-2.
Now,
I watched.
now, as we said in the beginning of the show, we are all different people here in the studio.
Yes.
And we are all different people out there.
Yes.
There are certain incidents in our personal lives that left a lasting impression in our lives as to who we are today. And that Brave Warriors team of 1997, 96, 97 was...
Right.
It galvanized us on the sporting field, except for what Frankie was doing on the one side as an individual.
Because this was now a whole other sports code.
This is a whole other sport code. And South Africa was always considered our big brother. You don't mess with your big brother. I have, except for the Sam Nujoma Star Rally in 1989, where there were over 80,000 people crammed into that Independence Stadium.
Yeah.
This particular day when we played Bafana Bafana, the powerhouse of South African football, Lolo Gorasep was this small.
Yes.
Mohamed Osep,
Please don't
Klein
say.
man.
Robert Nosep.
Is kort, maar moet nog niet zeggen.
Okay, sorry toch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Kathupi.
He
Yeah,
was tall but
Ronnie
small.
Canalelo,
Yes, Ronnie.
Ricardo Manetti,
Bimbo.
Bimbo Shiero. That day, I still remember we were trailing 2-1. It was in the last minute of that game. Bafana is supposed to win this game. Bimbo gets a free kick. He scores. I lost my voice for a month. I could not speak.
I remember.
And symbolically,
right
that day,
above Brian Baloy's begging.
yes. our country was so united for that to the run-up to that game, whether you were a football supporter or not.
Yes.
That stadium was packed. We were sitting like this. And when we won that game, our flag just were hoisted even higher. When that old South African, the World Cup song that says, wave your flag.
Yeah.
Wave your flag.
Waving flag, yeah.
Yes. That's how I felt that specific day. So that team was a strong unifying factor for me again. So for me, the Brave Warriors team of 1997, 96, 97, 98 was very symbolic.
I definitely agree with you. I wonder where all of them are now. It would be nice to do a where are they now or something like that.
By the way, we will get to your comments. People are like, you guys are not reading comments. We will get to the comments.
We will run the show till 10 o'clock so we get to your comments. Yeah.
Okay, so the youth and the Brave Warriors.
And the Brave Warriors team.
Maar ook met jullie ook die rugby. Onze rugby wel, weet je nog niet World Cup toe gegaan nie?
Yeah, man.
Can't you discuss these things off air? Why must you bring these things on air, Maria? But good, very true. The rugby team, they've really been representing us well at every World Cup. Yeah. So yeah, I think maybe I need to add them there next to the Brave Warriors.
Yeah.
Okay. Another one on my list. I don't know. It just felt wrong to not have him also on my list of heroes.
Pas op, no.
Is Captain Hendrik Witbooi.
Hoe vervoerd?
Did you just?
Neville is like, oh.
He's on our money.
Yes.
It's very difficult
to not have him on your list.
Yes.
Yes, Captain
Hendrik Witbooi.
Yes.
Hardgebakte nama.
Of course.
Stitching.
Before the 1900s, one of the most, probably, one of a very few Namibian names that we know about that was active before the 1900s, in the 1800s. He was born in 1830. He died at the age of 75. Okay. I don't think you need to explain really why Captain Witbooi needs to be or is a national hero. I personally think he deserves a statue somewhere in this country as well.
Yes.
That's my personal opinion.
Is there no Hendrik Witbooi statue in this country?
No, only
Tintin Palace, the Parliament. There's a
That is Nuyoma, although they're saying it's the forgotten hero.
No, we're not talking about the museum. We're talking about Parliament.
Oh, I don't know.
I think there's a Hosea Kutako one at Parliament.
Is there?
Yes, and I'm not too sure if there's a Hendrik Witbooi one. But I can see somewhere here in my kop see the Hendrik Witbooi statue. Now, I agree with Hendrik Witbooi. Again, you have heroes like Genghis Khan to their people where they are buried in unmarked graves. And nobody knows up until today where they are buried.
Yes.
A guy like Genghis Khan. Hendrik Witbooi, when he fell off his horse after a battle with the German soldiers, he fell off his horse somewhere in the Keetmans vicinity. And his troops buried him there. Nobody knows where Hendrik Witboi's grave is up until today. So it will always remain a mystery, but definitely a Namibian hero.
I mean, if at age 75, this old man was still sitting on a horse firing back at the Germans, at the age 74, 75, that is true bravery.
Hardgebak.
Okay.
What's
your second name?
Speaking of would have been presidents in the past, to probably one of our future presidents, also on my list, is Dr. Quentin Gert van Rooyen.
Yes. Yeah, I think he said he's not interested in politics. But yeah, let's just put it out there.
Yeah.
Oh, but his name is not Gert, by the way. Don't start calling the boss Gert. Yeah, but he's a self-made man. For me, there's something to respect about that. It doesn't matter how far you get in this life, but a self-made man, someone who comes from nothing and builds an empire for themselves. I mean, I never really understood the kinds of headaches that Quentin van Rooyen goes through to sustain this big machine until I started working here, which even gave me a bit more appreciation for that kind of entrepreneurship. And it inspires, I'm sure it inspires a lot of young Namibians to also...
And may I add to it, and I'm not saying this because he's my boss, but also just really a stellar guy. If you have had the privilege of getting to know Quentin the person, not the persona, he's a really great person. I enjoy my conversations with him. I enjoy he's really just a great guy, and he does pour himself into his staff, trying to improve you, and he challenges you. That's what I like. He'll put you on the spot. I mean, I remember when I had to go to the 4th floor for a board meeting, I had to represent Chris. I mean, I was out of depth, but just to be in there and to be challenged like that, and then for him to come afterwards and he's like, "Nee, Mary, ek het dit alright gedoen," you know. It's nice, but you get that feel of empowerment, and I think grossly misunderstood. I don't know if he even wants to change that perception of himself. But stellar guy, and I think if you've been lucky enough to work, at least I know, get to know him, you might have a great impression of him.
Well, I'm not a manager, so I don't know him like that.
No, we roll. Okay, I haven't been to his farm or anything.
Excuse, he's a bra.
2003, when I met Quentin for the first time, me and Lazarus, upcoming comedians in the country, looking for sponsorship to do a show. And out of nowhere, we hear about this white guy, the new up-and-coming entrepreneur in Namibia. He started this new company called Trusco, a legal shield. And this guy comes out of nowhere, and he convinces his board and his senior management, come and support the ladies. Let's support them. And paid for our show, fully paid, sold-out show at the NTN Theatre. That's how I came to know Quentin. Long story short, years down the line, through the QVR codes, Quentin would explain how he started his business, the ideas that he had, especially the failures, the amount of money he has lost over the years by making business mistakes, the successes, everything all rolled up in one. Self-made guy. Sometimes we forget he's white. A lot of people would say, "That was a lani man. I had lokasi manire." So Quentin,
I've heard that before.
So Quentin is a guy who really fits in with everybody. No, and we are not sitting here singing praises because we work for him. But even outside of the building of Trusco, you can clearly see it's a guy who has really made it for himself.
And he inspires. For me, that is one of the traits that I look for in anybody that I would consider a hero. You should be able to inspire others to do better for themselves. Yes, and that is something, especially through the QVR code, Neville. That is something that it was a brilliant initiative, and it's something that I still applaud to this day. So those are the other two on my list now.
Obviously, I can't not mention Michelle McLean. I mean, still the only contender to get us a Miss Universe title from Namibia, and I mean it was just shortly after independence. So
I also contemplated putting Michelle on my list.
I can't mention great women in this country without mentioning, and I mean the fact that she still has this foundation that she's running,
of course,
still doing a lot of work for the community. I mean, her youngest sister was actually my best friend in high school. So I'm very familiar with the family, but her parents. Oh my gosh! You can see why she excelled to excellence. The mother is the dad is a doctor and the mother works for the father. They used to work from home, but just great people as well. So she really grew up in a home with like lots of love and lots of, just pouring into her, and they really supported her dreams. And her mother is like one of the most wonderful people I've ever met in my life. And but yes, I can't mention this without Michelle, and it's a household brand. The nice thing with when you mention Michelle McLean, you don't even have to give a history. Like everybody knows who Michelle McLean is.
I was very fortunate to host her wedding.
The last one with Bailey.
Yeah, with Gary Bailey, with the former Manchester United goalkeeper.
Yeah.
And I'm still in contact with Gary, in fact, because they live out in Miami, in the US. So now and again we would still, touch base. Lovely people.
Yeah.
And yes, rightfully, Namibian hero.
Yeah.
She okay. Yeah.
What did you order?
No, because it's one of the sort of dilemmas I was sitting with when I was mulling over whether I should add Michelle to my list or not. It was like she did put Namibia on the map internationally. That you cannot deny.
Dispute, yeah.
Yes, but I think also as a black community, we reacted, I think, a bit more to Barbara.
Yes. Oh, bro. Oh, I love Barbara.
Then to Michelle.
Yeah.
Barbara.
Because Michelle was the first black winner of the title.
Barbara was the first.
Yeah. I'm talking about Barbara. She was the first black
yes.
person. So yes, of course, there's that. And I mean, look, I would also put Barbara here. I mean,
very close next to each other.
And what I like about Barbara? Barbara and I will have tea.
Yeah.
And we can keep it 100. That's what I love about Barbara. We don't even have to touch base all the time. But when we see each other, it's just a good time. We talk, there's a lot of sense that we have an honest conversation. Yeah, also, really, somebody we should remember.
Yeah.
Next on my list, I actually put Gwen Lister. I mean, not just because she's in media, but I mean, she was really active in, let's say, on our journey to independence.
Yeah.
She obviously went against the apartheid government, suffered greatly because we're talking about her officers being bombed and her being threatened, her being arrested. Really, so to have spoken up, to be a white person, firstly, and to speak up against the apartheid government, you cannot. So whatever your opinion of that woman is today, whether you agree with her opinions today or not, we cannot dispute that she did a lot.
That newspaper was a hellraiser in during our they definitely played their part. It sort of reminds me of the saying, you either die a hero, you live long enough to see yourself become a villain.
And let me tell you, when I started in the media industry in Namibia, I started at the Namibian, so I worked for her. And when I tell you that she's a principled person, I'm not joking. I remember one day coming to the office. Our reporter at the time, I'm not going to mention names, had a front page article about some corruption. I think it was a front page that this reporter wrote about. And that day that the front page was out, it came out that this guy lied about his S&T. I think he increased it, or he didn't, or he got S&T and didn't go to the event or whatever. And Gwen called him in the office and says, you see, I cannot have you writing articles like this about corruption and then you are behaving like this. So she was like, please clear your table. And she loved him. She was like, she really loved, she's like, I love you as a journalist. I think you're going to go places, but principally, this is not going to work. Because I cannot have those contradictions. You cannot pretend to be against corruption and against this, fraud, and then you doing the same thing.
Yes.
So he had to clear his desk, but I think that was like kind of that rude awakening and definition, because I remember looking at that and saying, yes, it's not nice. You feel bad that somebody's lost their job, but I was like, I admire that. And I was like, if I can have half the courage she has in moments like that, I'll be okay in life. But yeah, Stella Woman also taught me a lot. Because like I said, she was my first boss. So taught me a lot in terms of just doing things principally, which I think was great, and it laid the foundation. So yes, I can't have that list without Gwen Lister, unfortunately, and I'm happy to have her there as for me a heroine for sure.
Definitely. Neville, you got more you want to share?
He's busy texting. Ek weet nie sy wat.
Ek lees ook die comments. I think let's read a few comments.
Hy's besig met comments.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, read some comments.
Oh,
Anton Laba. Oh, okay. Sorry, continue. Yes.
Anton Leboski.
Hey. Okay.
Yes, completely. I agree with you, Makwa van Makwa.
I think if we read the comments now,
we will agree with you.
We need to be. We don't need to comment. Want dit gaan tyd vat. But let's just read the comments.
Okay, I will start from the first one that I can see here because some of the comments have already disappeared off my screen. It's quite busy. You know what? I really like you guys. You're complaining that we're not reading comments, right?
But they're still commenting.
But they're not leaving. They start having their own conversations there.
That's cool.
In
That's
the comments.
cool.
It's
That's
cool, man. We love you guys.
Yeah.
Josephson, which town and look? No. Lichi, who's the lady that ran during Frank's time? She ran 200 meters.
What, the American one?
No, Namibian.
Namibian lady.
I can't remember. We are so focused
The
on
Namibian
Frankie.
would be Marion Johnson, no? Or was Marion?
Hello, Marion Johnson.
Come on. The American, I meant to say, not the Namibian. Oh. Is it not Elizabeth Mongudi?
No, I can't remember.
No, I can't remember.
I also can't remember.
200.
Yeah, Neville Frankie is from Groot Winkels. Lichi Mongo. through
Jobs.
come on, through Black Africa. Yes, I believe that's her name. She doesn't get enough recognition either.
I didn't even
I
know.
also don't remember.
Yeah, I need to go check up on it. Thanks. At least I can go check.
Frankie's light was shining so bright, he was dimming everybody else around him. Regine Cassie Mushimba, you just refreshed my memory about Frankie's slow-mo running.
Neville.
Yeah, my heroes are Robbie of Brave Warriors
Yes, Robbie.
and Gueros Urigo.
Oh,
Robbie, are we talking about Robbie the fan?
yes.
Yes.
Oh, may his soul rest in peace.
The
I
late
love.
Robbie, yeah.
Who didn't know Robbie?
True.
Yeah, also a hero, by the way.
He's in there as acknowledgements.
Yes,
Yes.
for sure.
Yes. Honorary mentions. Ailey Maida Nyoma, I believe there are more heroes that didn't get recognition. It's sad, though. Obviously, not everybody could be remembered by name, or not everybody would be mentioned by name. There are some heroes that, unfortunately, yeah. Anyway, is she old enough?
They're talking to each other now.
Saw him run, Gamboli.
The lady is Agnes Samaria, I think. No, I think Agnes came years later, no?
Agnes Samaria.
Yeah.
Not.
She wasn't
not
in
too-
Frankie's time.
Not too far after Frankie.
Yeah, but not during Frankie, I mean. Because I remember
yeah,
the name
yeah,
Agnes for me
yeah.
became a household afterwards.
Yeah.
But maybe she was running at it. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
I believe she lives in Scandinavia now, somewhere in Norway. Yeah.
Also a household name.
Yeah, household name.
She lives with Estomich. Dr. Job Shipululo Amupanda as a youth from John Chombe. Okay. Dr. Amadila, I love her, so humble. She recently sold her farms and built hostels and accommodations for schoolgirls that slept in deplorable conditions.
Yes.
And when asked why she did this, she said, when I die, people will just be fighting for my wealth. So I want to put it back to the community. All she is doing for the forgotten San people, it's amazing.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's just amazing. A stellar woman.
Yes. Also, Osi Rosa Namises, our unsung heroes. I met her through the daughters. She is really a wonderful person. Youth like Natalia Isaac. Which one is Natalia Isaac?
Oh, the feisty one. Yes, I love Natalia. Yes. The one that turned that
NCAA
on its toes. Yeah.
Des van Wyk, I must say I loved the late Theo Ben Gurirap for his diplomacy and handling order in Parliament.
That's
Hats
true.
off.
That's true.
Yes.
Somebody also said, they also admired the late Abraham Iyambo for bringing free primary education to Namibia during his time being education. I mean, look, we don't want to say his job killed him, but he was so dedicated to his job and trying to reform the Ministry of Education. It was sad to see somebody, I think that could have been an excellent president eventually, leave us so early. But yes, we will remember Dr. Abraham Iyambo.
Chindo Wesley Mwilima, all those creating opportunities for the youth and not stealing moolah are the current heroes.
Yes.
Although we lost hope in some people who we thought were hard workers.
Hey, Mulima, stop your nonsense, please.
Hey, those people are still going forward. Asino can be kids. Since these guys are not reading comments, my list also goes on Captain Planet, Conan, Tintin, Rambo, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Ninja Turtles. I will come back later.
Just like it. I read that comment when it happened. I was like,
we needed to go through the list first.
Don J. Mondi says, we have learned from time that the true meaning of a Namibian hero is a combination of moral principles and raw fearlessness. Give them flowers while they are alive. To the Morning Mix crew and my people in the comments, Tambulani and Gala, you are all superheroes. Like, take these flowers, you're all superheroes. That's sweet. Yes. Give them their flowers while they're alive. I agree. Let us remember our heroes while they're alive, not after they die.
True.
Ja.
Die man wat Van Gogh geskop het in Berlin, Pacho Ogamop.
Alkumeb. Berlin Alkumeb.
Alkumeb, yes.
Komasaki Shangala is also a hero.
Who says that?
Yes.
Camilo Helao.
In the underworld.
Yeah. Saki is also a hero.
Yes.
It's your hero. We will respect it.
It's like Batman and Robin, James and Saki.
Oh, Tena Number. Can I read a comment by Tena Number? Very, very well said. He says, our heroes are the frontline workers who are working 24/7 to fight the COVID-19. Dr. Helena Ndume, I think he wasn't done commenting, but yes, you are very correct.
Julle sê hashtag
we are
Maria,
redefining.
praat nie Afrikaans nie, maar sy doen dit soos 'n professionele persoon.
Daar's dit.
Ja? Kom maar, daar's dit.
Daar's
No. You said,
dang.
nee, you said it correctly. It's just I didn't expect you to say it.
Oh, okay. I thought you were correcting me.
I'm like, what? You sounded like a girlie from Kommersdal just now.
Nee, ek praat beter Afrikaans as daai meisies daar.
It's a word Maria's Afrikaans, it's a.
Ja.
Okay, read comments.
No,
because we're getting distracted.
Kyk, as ek op die foon praat en ek praat met 'n boertjie. So ek moet met hulle praat asof ek een van hulle is.
Luister. Never.
Poor man.
Hey, Puikie na. Wat ek met Wamboetaal gepraat het, toe sê ek het dit op die kussing geleer. Hoekom sê jy nie dieselfde ding vir Neville vir
Maar daar is
Marianne?
nie kussing by die huis nie.
Leslie Kamuseb, no man, it really is annoying seeing our culture just being sidelined in the name of we can't say the cliques. Come on. Even whites in South Africa are trying the cliques, man. There is a conversation here about pronunciations. Like, I can't follow it properly because some of the messages are missing. I think it started with the whole introduction of Kiswahili from the bits and pieces that I could gather. And then somebody was like, hoekom leer ons nie mekaar se talle hierso nie? Hoekom moet ons nonsense Kiswahili kom leer? So I think that sparked a little bit of a debate in the comments.
Yes, don't do that.
Yeah, if you can follow that conversation, you can follow it. But we're gonna keep it moving. Yeah. Lichi Mongo. So then instead, okay, that's still the Kiswahili thing. Okay, I guess not that. Neville's a tongue is kort. Jonas Jr. Do you guys? Did anybody have Jonas Jr. on his list?
No.
Okay. So he,
some people are insisting Harry Simon must be on the list. This is like the third time I'm seeing.
Let's talk about Harry though.
Yes, let's talk about Harry.
Yes.
Is Harry still a hero? Or has what has happened diminished
Sorry.
him?
Or has he lived long
what
enough?
What did you say? You had a term there.
Yes. You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become a villain.
That's a saying, yeah.
I think it's what happened with Harry.
You know, we debated this issue last night, and I initially felt that I needed to add Harry on my list because I remember also back in the day, you know, in the exact time when Frankie, Michel, these guys were doing what they were doing. Harry did the same in boxing.
Of course.
And Harry was such a talented boxer.
Yeah.
And again,
The amount
I remember at the African Games, I think in 1991, in Egypt, they tried everything to distract Harry back there in Egypt. But despite of that, Harry became African champion. Harry became world champion. Yes, polarizing figure in Namibian society. The two infamous car accidents that happened in Swakopmund, Walfish Bay, that defines what a lot of people feel about Harry today. The fights at clubs, at bars in Walfish Bay, the money, the attitude, the jewelry, the violence, the everything that goes along with the persona of Harry Simon. The question is out there, the success compared to this controversy that we're talking about here. Yeah, it both weighs heavily on our conscience.
I also understand. Like, I remember watching Harry fighting also, like on TV,
and being inspired by it.
Yeah, no, I was never gonna box. Nooit met my oulike gesig. But I can understand. You can see how many young boxers sprung up in the wake of Harry Simon.
Yes.
So you can see clearly the kind of effect that his success had on the rest of the youth here in the country, and how many people aspired to be able to do what Harry had done. So in that context, he will always be considered a hero. But like we're saying, you also, sort of, if you live long enough, you're bound to tarnish your reputation.
All of us.
Yes, but somehow this never happens with our politicians.
It just happens to other people.
Yeah, just other people. Politicians are just heroes in this. Ja, alright, kom ons lees.
Ja, lees jou comments asseblief.
Philly Shitamwene, Peter Nanyemba is my hero.
Oh! Yo!
Yes.
Fearless.
Vosia Alana Greenwood Nawa says Luderits. Cubase op watse kussing het jy Wamboetaal geleer?
Hey, toch.
Sien jy, Vosia, you want to now come throw sauce, come throw sand in my food.
Ja.
Wat so goed is die? No, I'm busy teaching her on the pillow. Miriam Kahokwena your hero? Ay, my God.
Hero for doing what?
Come on, get out of here. Get out. Yes.
I'm sure she's a hero for some people.
Yeah.
Must say she didn't make my list, unfortunately.
Maybe more.
She didn't.
Maybe more the Big Brother winner than Miriam Kahokwena.
Yeah.
She's one of those that lived long enough to fall out of my graces.
How about Delish? Delish also put Namibia on the map, sort of, with her Big Brother Africa victory.
Acknowledgement.
Yes.
I acknowledge.
I think I can acknowledge. I wouldn't call her a hero.
Yeah.
For me.
Honorary mentions.
Yes, but
mentions.
yes, but honorary mentions. Yes, of course. Kudos to her. She did something fantastic.
Yeah.
But again, like I say, how I perceive a hero is
it's completely different.
Is different. Yeah.
Liewe Hiskia, die Cubase het nou net soos 'n plaasboer geklink toe hy Afrikaans praat. Ja, man, praat mos hy suiwer Afrikaans, jy ken mos. My 2020 hero is Informanté Studio, full stop.
Oh.
Yes, thank you. Dion Chimsizzle, his sense of humor. Okay, who are you talking about? Let me maybe find the other comment.
Oh, there's also Mahuilili. Somebody mentioned here that yes, the late. Yes, Nathaniel. Yes.
No, Nathaniel. We didn't even mention Samuel. Samuel Mahiro.
Yeah, Mahirera.
Mahiro.
Yes, there are so many people there. Yeah.
And you know what? I was also debating this with myself yesterday. I didn't share it with the group, but like. Guys like Neville and Lars were also pioneers in their own rights.
Aweta.
Yes, they became household names in the 90s, and for some of us, it made a lot of people also want to do sort of what you were doing, and just having a lot of people looking up to you guys. So, in your own right, you would also be considered a hero, Tata Neville. Yeah. Not a national hero, but a small hero. Honorary mention.
Thank you.
Honorary mention, yes.
We cannot overlook what you guys have done.
They're household names. Like you don't go anywhere. Almal ken for Neville Basson. So.
Yes.
And
Thank
Lazarus
you, guys.
Jacobs, you guys.
Thank you.
You guys are doing the things. So can I just at least op die swakste iets sê, Bras? Kom ek praat net my laaste. Let me just, I won't do the whole 10, but I can't leave the studio without mentioning, of course, our current First Lady, Monica Gengo. So I adore her. I adore her. And just, I mean, we know she's a public speaker, but I just, everything she's doing with whether it's with the support that she's given us for the Me Too movement, her foundation, the Be Free movement, she's really doing a stellar First Lady. I adore her, and I for me, definitely a heroine. And then the last one I wanted to put in there is just because I love strong women, Pendukeni Bulaitana. Cannot complete this list without that. I love that woman. I adore her.
For her name on the list.
Yeah, I adore her, and not just because of her liberation credentials, and they're quite. They're lengthy. But just, I told you, I've got an affinity to strong women, and she's really just the pinnacle of that. So
I got two. Quick mention. All Namibian mothers, for me.
You consider me a hero?
Yes, I do.
Oh,
I really do.
never. Okay, I'm
To
just
all
kidding.
Namibian mothers out there,
That is beautiful. That's
in
true.
the history of this country, you've carried so much. It's difficult to put it into words. And then again, once again, Maria, it's funny how you see your own mother, your grandmother, your aunties, everybody around you. Those are your point of entry as to understanding this global, this world out there of exactly how significant women are in society. And Namibian mothers out there for what they've endured in this last 100 years, whether it was during the German Hero War, whether it was during the liberation struggle, those were the soft targets to get to us as men.
Yeah.
If we touch them, you touch us. Violence against women that we have, that we've been exposed to since independence, that for us to understand what it means out there today, all of that, but still being the backbone of our societies is commendable. Heroes. And the last one for me, Agali Toisep, who, in my view, yes, I know there's a Dipo Amutenya element to the national anthem, but we basically came to know the national anthem, which we sing every day, which is part of our identity, is through Agali Toisep. So I still remember after independence when we got our name as Namibia and we got our flag, and there was a debate as to somebody needs to compose a national anthem. And in the final was Agali Toisep with Land of the Brave, and there was another one. Woo.
So we would have had another anthem.
Die boere, daar was 'n anthem, my broer. Ja, vote me Namibia. And we had to vote for that one or this one. Hey, die boere was kwaad when this one won.
It's like, nou moet ons die sang.
Nou moet ons hierdie gemors sing. So, and you can clearly hear, if you hear the national anthem today, you can hear in the tune that there was a damara hand into
I was
it.
about to say, Lamu dankbaar wees. We didn't put in
Kalunga.
the damar, like, you know how the South African anthem, they put in their koza or whatever.
The languages, yes.
Their languages. Hello, Mudanki say we kept it to English.
Yeah.
Hello.
Because you can still hear. There's some damara in the national
the feel.
Namibia lento the brave koso kohotite. You can hear the damara is in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Hey, we've been talking for 2 hours. Don't worry, just 30 minutes and then we're done.
Yeah. Read your last comments so we can go.
Was die comments? Kom ek refresh go. You know, I think maybe the only list that I didn't name here. The only name on my list that I didn't mention is Tatea Toivo.
Yes. Tatea Toivo.
Yes.
Tatea Toivo.
But also, look, if you're going to mention Tatea Toivo, you might as well also mention the founding is also.
Yes.
I can't believe we didn't mention the founding.
I was going to get there because I was just about to say, as important as Tate Sam was, Tatea Toivo also played a pivotal part in it.
He formed the OPPO.
Yes.
It's difficult for me to separate the two.
Yes.
And that is why, even when we spoke about this last night, Tatea Toivo, Tate Kuru Nioma, our founding father, very equal in my view in terms of the influence that they had in my life. I had the opportunity when I was at Robben Island to go and visit the jail cell of Tatea Toivo because he was the one Namibian that I could identify with who was sitting next to Nelson Mandela in the same jail. And when I spoke to Tatea Toivo and said, Tatea Toivo, I went to your cell. I was in Cape Town at Robben Island. And he looked at me and said, Bazon, that cell of mine was a luxury compared to what Palestinians are going through in Israel. I went to a Palestinian jail in Israel. You cannot compare, so don't feel sorry for me. And that is how humble the man was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course, of the few heroes that we mentioned, even some people who we do consider heroes were not mentioned on this list. It was just going to be impossible to mention all of them. You can see Shines is already saying, hey, like almost chip.
Shines is moeg vir ons.
Yeah. The point is we have a lot of heroes.
Yes.
Great for a small nation. That there's so many names that are popping up, and for the most part we're in agreement.
Yeah.
So that's great. That's great. But
Brumba Kerina is the man who gave us our name.
Yes.
The name Namibia.
Yes.
Honorary mention.
Yes. Honorary mention.
Dr. Brumba Kerina.
So tomorrow is Heroes Day, right? Me?
VP.
What is wrong? He is also a hero, Mus.
Okay. You're somebody's hero. You cannot deny that he is somebody's hero.
Somebody's hero.
Okay.
Yeah, but like as Maria was saying, tomorrow is Heroes Day. So if the heroes that are alive, maybe you can just show them in whatever small way you can how much you appreciate everything that they have done, basically. And of course, you try and honor the ones that are not here, honor their memory, in just not with alcohol, in another way. Asseblief. Ons ken as a public holiday. Angela, van sape.
Let's try not to drink tomorrow.
Hey, they're going to hang you like a Dora. Don't play. Come and drink. Don't say that to people. All right, guys.
So what are you guys going to be doing tomorrow?
Esperezo.
I'm playing superhero to my kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jay?
No, we'll just be home. Really just be home. But then, again, just... try and be a hero to... In fact, that is what we need to try. We need to try and be a hero to someone tomorrow.
I'll show you a video where this guy gave the delivery guy money. I'll show you the video. I was bawling my eyes out. Like, I'm so sensitive to stuff like that. But it was... And this guy, when he got the money, he was like, this money is literally what I need to pay rent this month.
I saw someone here when we were talking about QBR was also saying, it's like years ago when he was a waitress, QBR gave him such a big tip he didn't sleep that night because
I saw the comment.
Yeah.
I saw the comment.
All right. Okay, guys, keep well and
thank you so much.
Stay safe. Remember, Corona is still out there.
Is it Happy Heroes Day?
Don't forget.
Yeah, it's Happy Heroes Day.
Stay safe. We know the situation in the country, and thanks for locking in. Bye.
Oh yeah, and I got a surprise for you guys. Hold on.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9, Monday to Fridays.
The Morning Mix.
Morning. How's everybody doing this glorious day?
Thomas, why are you so happy?
Brah, thanks to Onaomed, went to the doctor, no more clinics, no more long lines.
Onawa who?
Onaomed,
is an affordable medical insurance product that suits my pocket.
Anawamed offers access to 15 consultations at a private doctor, 15 acute medication prescriptions up to the value of $150 Namibian per prescription per year. For more info, SMS MED to 31844.
The Anawamed product also comes with a free funeral benefit for all family members.
Underwritten by Trusco Life.
Every day we bring you the hottest music. Ultimate music mix. And some outrageous conversations.
Ek het nou amper iets gesê. So, are you saying Namibian men were not romantic?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Huh?
Yes.
Why? What are the values of Namibian men? Is there anything good about us?
Yeah, I'm striking a blank.
She is striking a blank.
You know what?
Let's get to the real thing.
The Morning Mix on Informanté Radio. The sound for a new age.